Good on that end. Good on this end. That's up and good. Wait to get a notification. Hopefully we get one. Should get one. Can't imagine not. Uh-oh. I guess it's only been like 30 seconds. I guess YouTube still got to figure out that I'm live. Got my Twitch notification. Maybe YouTube ain't sending them out tonight. Oh, there we go. There we go. How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully quite well. It's pretty weird. Tomorrow's the first big day of bye weeks. It's already that far into the season. What's up, Ape? Can't believe it. We're at the bye weeks. The Lions, Texans, Titans, and Raiders get theirs out of the way right away. Probably very well needed for the Lions. Yeah, we're a little over a quarter of the way through the season. Because it's like with 17 games, it's like, well, where's the quarter of the season mark, you know? What's up, Jojo? Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get the death penalty. Florida's usually pretty good about that. What's up, Hockey? Is it because he's like, what's the word I'm looking for? Mentally sick or something like that? Is that why they spared him on the death sentence? Because, yeah, I think people like that, you know, there's no reason for him to be left alive. It's like, I'm pretty far left, too. It's like, well, that guy, really? I was really surprised. I was like, really? Really? That's one of the ones where you're like, I thought that's what we had that for, is people like that guy. But all right. What's up, Landon? How's it going, dude? I hope there's appeals or something on that one. That kid sucks. Just, it's always a bummer when those people don't get took out by the cops at the scene. It's like, God damn it. It's like, God damn. Oh, we're just getting the stream just started up. What's up, Fernando? How you doing, buddy? Had some steak? Hell yeah. We're just 3 minutes into the stream, so we usually don't get started for about like 10 minutes in. Give people time to come in, and we just kind of chit-chat and bullshit around. And yeah, we're on the Niners and Falcons is where we'll be starting at. Yep. We just work our way straight down the list. You're 1-0 because you have big brains? Yeah, I know. It's a rough week for me, too. 0-1 already. I mean, he's questionable, Mac Jones. He's not ruled out for the game, and neither is Damian Harris. So I don't think he'll start or play, but I mean, it's not impossible. You think the Falcons will choke? Potentially. I don't know if the Falcons will be able to do much scoring, but we'll get on that in a little bit. Nah, there's no reason to rush Mac back out there, in my opinion. I mean, if we win, yeah, we're 3-3. Season's kind of looking a little better, but I don't know. I don't think it's really worth it to risk too many crazy things. Especially since Mac, when he comes back, he'll be ready to go. I mean, if he misses this week, he'll be playing against the Bears, I would imagine, after an extra day of rest Monday Night Football. You know, I'm so bummed out, a little like future jumping, like when the Patriots play the Bears on Monday Night Football next week. Because it's like, damn, dude, we're going to be one of them teams that bums everybody out about low-scoring games. So that kind of sucks. But also, it's pretty funny. But we can actually score points, so I don't know. You know, fucking Bears might be on their own on that one. I'm hearing that there is mutual interest between Odell and the Patriots. Well. Who's reporting on that? Mike Balco. Yeah, there's always mutual interest between the Patriots. Like, you know what's weird is everyone's always like, oh, look out, the Patriots and Odell. It's like, yeah, that's always going to be a story, and that's always going to be a rumor because Bill Belichick and Odell Beckham really like one another. It's just like one of them things that's always going to be a possibility, but who knows if it actually ever comes to a fruition. Falcons lead 12-3, Debo wide open to make it 12-10. Onside kicking, Niners get it. Debo, damn. You have a very specific choke in mind for the Falcons. I like that. Like a very specific blow the game. And then the Falcons, I have the feeling the 49ers win that one pretty handily. But okay, again, we'll get into that in a few minutes here. You might have, Fernando. Is it still going? Daniel Barry, that game? What's up, Daniel? How's it going, though? The Astros and Mariners. Ain't nobody scoring. They just can't seem to get a point across. Live currently. It's going to drop that in the Discord. Yeah, they're at 15 innings. It's crazy. I feel like the media is trying to force Mac back on the field so when he gets hurt again, they can see. Yeah, exactly. And the Patriots aren't about to play that game. It's silly. Tied at 0. Jeez. Still. Yeah, it's been really weird. They keep at it's like yeah, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of the media about the Mac thing. They're like, "Oh, is there a quarterback controversy?" I'm like, it's like I don't. Why would there be? Seems like one of the biggest like media made up things I've ever seen. By the way, if you haven't left a like, consider doing so. Helps stream out, gets us past that immediate yellow badge that we get. The last press conference, Bill. Yep. Yeah, but Bill's been on one this last week with these press conferences. But also, another thing that's pretty smart that the Patriots are doing with this Mac injury is the Browns have had to then prepare for not only Bailey Zappi this weekend, right? But like in the backs of their heads and in the backs of preparation, they also have to keep in mind Mac could play. And who do you prepare for? Do you prepare it's a smart coaching move when you don't have to put a guy on IR and you could just kind of make him questionable and stand him out there at practice. I mean, what are you doing if you're the Browns, huh? What do you do? Do you just only prepare for Bailey Zappi and just hope to God that Mac Jones doesn't play? And then if Mac Jones plays, you just go, oh, we hope his ankle's hurt. You know what I mean? It's a kind of a good coaching move. Or do you slightly prepare for Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi, under prepare for Bailey Zappi because, you know, he's kind of new. You should have a lot more insight on the guy. So there is a little bit of that going on. Plus, again, you have very limited tape on what Bailey Zappi can do. The problem with the backup quarterback. You're like, fuck, what do we do? Because again, if you over prepare to stop the run, then you leave the pass game open, especially now with the Patriots, who seem to have a much better pass. It's complicated. All right, you guys ready to get started on the actual games, though? I mean, we got a few to get through. We've only got 13 games to get through tonight. So we'll probably have a good amount of time to do some talk afterward. Tails, I don't care. All right, 49ers and Falcons. We got ourselves a... Not that they will, but yeah, exactly, because Ward's out and stuff like that. 49ers, Falcons. The Falcons, they played a lot better than I think people have thought they would this season. Then you look at the 49ers, who seem to have found their kind of stride here at this point in the season. Their defense is playing very well. Their offense is playing, doing what they usually do, just enough to hold it together. Yeah, their defense isn't half bad in Atlanta, but again, their offense seems to be kind of hit and miss, kind of unsturdy, kind of streaky. And again, with a defense as good as the 49ers defense is, it's like, well, what are you going to really do there? 49ers defense is almost as good as it was when Salah was the coach. They're getting quickly back up to that again. It seems like their new defensive coordinator's finding his stride. I guess not new, but like second year guy. Kind of getting comfortable, getting used to the pieces that he's got to play with. And what's up, Max? So it seems like the Niners are starting to kind of reshape their identity on defense a little bit this year. I would say all three of their wins are what's up, Chase? Are highly attributed to their defense. I would even say that one of their losses, I think that was that really close one against the Broncos, was like a 10, like they lost like a 10-11. So it's not like they're like getting blown out in their losses either. So again, Niners seem to be all right. I think their only bad loss is the Seahawks. And again, no, it wasn't even the Seahawks. Who'd they lose to? Other than the they lost to somebody really stupid where they probably shouldn't have lost. Can't remember, but they're clearly the better team in this game. The Bears, yeah, that was a weird one. Was that a Trey Lance game or was that a Jimmy G game? I think that was a Trey Lance game. So Jimmy G's 3-1. He's the good quarterback. Lance, that's what I thought. All right, so yeah, we're probably all on the same page here. I don't know if anyone's actually going to pick the Falcons in this one. It would be quite the upset for the Falcons at home. This isn't that exciting of a game, I'm going to be honest with you. All right, here's a really good game. Everybody should probably have this marked on their calendar. In a rainstorm, Lance first game, so that was some luck shit. Oh, okay. Nope, Niners. Yeah, everyone's pretty much okay. All right, Patriots, Browns. Both teams are 2-3. One of the things I think you have to look at in this game, if you're picking the Browns, is the Browns have, I believe, the worst rushing defense in the NFL. Like rank 32. Like efficiency rank 32. What's up, Jacob? DVOA play rank 32. It's just like everything you would think about, like yards allowed per run. It's just like 28. And it's like, oh, that should bode very well against a team that is a run-first football team, right? That power runs with a monster running back. That can't tackle very well either. That's what I mean. Like, these teams ran all over the Browns, and they're like, they can't block like the Patriots, and they can't, like, it's like, well, it's kind of like that situation with the Lions game where it's like, well, I mean, if the Patriots just get the ball and hold on to it, it doesn't really matter what their defense can do. Can the Browns actually stop this team running the football? They couldn't stop teams with much worse offensive lines and arguably worse run games than the Patriots from running the football. What the fuck do we think the Patriots are about to do? And by the way, the Patriots are so high on Kevin Harris. They're doing things like giving this dude all kinds of like bonus money and roster like bonuses and stuff for rookies that he doesn't even have to get paid. So that's how highly they think of this Kevin Harris, who's the backup tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon. But again, Browns are a dangerous team. If Myles Garrett is back and healthy, they're gonna have to deal with that with the pass rush situation. What's up, Alex? And then Jacoby Brissett's been playing very well this season. They have Amari Cooper. The Patriots are going to be without one of their best corners in Jonathan Jones. So there's a couple troubling things for the Patriots. Nelson Aguilar's out. Patriots lead 3-0, 6 minutes left. Oh, that would be nice. So, again, you kind of have to look at the Brissett situation and be like, well, the Patriots also kind of know Jacoby Brissett, so there's that kind of small advantage there. I don't know. I guess you could convince me of a Browns win and tell me how the Browns are going to win, but it's like, if you say just running the football, it's like, all right, I'm fairly certain the Patriots can make a singular stop on, or a few stops on Chubb if we sell out. Overall picks record. 38-41-1 or 38-42-1. It's getting better. Now we'll get to see what Jack Jones can do. I guess Jones will have to lock down Amari Cooper. It'll be embarrassing as hell. It'll be hilarious too. The final death blow on Amari Cooper. And by the way, Alabama might not be able to play for a national championship this year. Do you know what happens on the years when Alabama doesn't win national championships? Do you know who wins the Super Bowl? Usually, anyway. There's a long-standing history of this. I'm just saying. Maybe one of these two teams in this game between the Patriots and the other team is a team of destiny. I don't know which team it could be. Maybe it's the New England, Mac Jones-led Patriots. I don't know. Could be the other guys who signed a serial rapist or alleged serial rapist. They could be blessed by the football gods. Who knows? The Patriots who do everything right. I don't know. Oh, yeah, no, Brissett, there's a lot of drop passes against Brissett. Yeah, I don't want to trash talk the Browns because I actually like them, but it's up to 16 innings. Goodness gracious. But yeah, I'm like 3 games under 500 right now, Alex. 3 or 4 games. Getting better. I need like a 10-6 week and I'm back over 500. Or like anything over like 4 games over, 5 games over 500 and I'm back in. I'm good to go. All right, so, but does anybody have the Browns in this one? I would understand if so. Yeah, I've often noticed that people who start off really good, if you're like Fernando, I've seen people who start with and I'm not trying to trash you or anything. Something I've noticed the last few years with Pick'em. The people who tend to start off with unreal records like 53-17, by the end of the season, they're the ones with records that are like with 100 losses in them. Because again, I feel like in the beginning of the season, there's a lot of luck picking going on. Somewhere in the 40s to anywhere in the 40s and maybe high 30s, you're all right. Because you'll probably finish with a solid. Because you're picking, like, you're trying to use logic to pick games. And early in a football season, none of it works. Like, you're just like, why the fuck am I getting all these games wrong? But you're picking great for now, Fernando. Keep it up. And a lot of their players are bad at tackles, and Brissett avoids a sack. That makes something happen. Yeah, I was going to say that I think Cleveland's actually really good at like breaking tackle. See, the thing is, Cleveland's good at offense. If their defense was better, they'd be a lot. Like the Browns are actually weirdly similar to the Detroit Lions, but the Browns are a little bit more refined and a little bit like a few years ahead of where the Lions are. But they're like shockingly, both teams were built by John Dorsey, and like in the background, John Dorsey was like the shadow puppet of the Lions building right now. By the way, if you're wondering why the Lions offense suddenly is like one of the best in football, much like the Chiefs suddenly had the best offense in football with no defense, the Browns have a very good offense but no defense. The Lions have one of the best offenses but no defense. Are you starting to see a trend when John Dorsey builds a football team? He can go get you an offense. If you want one of the best offenses in football, hire John Dorsey. He'll put it together. He'll fucking package it. He'll fucking put tape on it and be like, this is what you got to do. And then he'll build you the bones of a great offense. And it's like every team he builds, like it's like this weird, like I don't even know what the defenses are. And then you got to fix them up. And it takes a little while. And, if the Browns had better defense, they'd be they'd be unstoppable. Just my thoughts on that one. Damn, we're not a lot of opinions on these games. Only pointing out that the rush was getting to Brissett, but a fail. Yeah, I mean, Mike, that doesn't help us out. We're kind of bad at tackling. Your point here is only making the thing you're pointing out is only good for Max's team, in my opinion. Hey, we're still at 7 likes. I mean, people aren't leaving likes, which is fine, I guess. But if you haven't left one, consider doing so. It might help get some more people in here. There's barely anyone in here tonight. Damn, it's down to 4 people. Damn. All right, well, I guess we'll move on to the Jets and Packers. No one else has really anything else to say about that one. All right, Jets and Packers. I got the Packers winning. I don't really think the Jets are any good. That's all. I don't really think it's that hard to beat a team's 3rd-string quarterback. It's just like, yeah, that shouldn't be that difficult. What up, Ven? Hell yeah, Boston. Or hell yeah, Jay. But yeah, my honest thoughts on this Jets-Packers game is the Jets might have the 3 luckiest wins. The Jets are like Mr. Magooing into a good record. This are they going to get just as lucky as like all season? Yeah, we did the whole game too. It was a fun time. We just kind of bullshitted around and barely talked about the game. It was pretty light work. And I don't like the thing is like compared to. I keep trying to like explain to people like the difference between last night or Thursday night 2 weeks ago, like a week ago, and the last Thursday game. We expected a bad game out of the Commanders and the Bears, and we got one. But at least it was some decent defense, right? Like a lot, it was bad offense, but like a lot of the time it was just good. It was just good defense overpowering bad offense, which is fine. I can live with that. That Colts and Broncos game wasn't supposed to be a bad football game. Like that's the actual problem with that one. Like we didn't hear for a week ahead of time that the Colts and Broncos were going to score like probably no points in the game, and it was just going to be a shit show. No, we were like, hey, it should be pretty good. You know what I mean? Like we had an expectation of a decent game going into the Colts Broncos, and we got literally garbage. And then we were pretty sure what we were going to get from the Bears and Commanders, and they delivered exactly what we thought we were going to get. It was a boring game, yeah, but it also just further proved to me nobody wants the old NFL to come back. That was my biggest takeaway from Thursday Night Football. I thought about this all day yesterday. There is not a single person that watches football today that wants the old rules to come back to the NFL, because the one thing that would happen, every fucking game would look like Thursday Night Football. You don't want that. You don't want 90s football to early 2000s. I was talking to my dad about this he said when teams would score 28 plus points, he would literally be flabbergasted. When a team would score into the 30s, he would be like, holy fuck, that's a lot of points. Think about that. He said the first few times he's seen 30, he had no idea how a team could score that many points. He's like, I don't even understand how they're doing this. And he's been watching football since like the NFL, So to him, it's like this thing where it's like he wouldn't mind it going back, but he also likes older style football. Even he said he quit watching that game though. He's like, I've grown too accustomed to the scoring. And it's just like, yeah, that's the thing. Nobody wants to watch shitty fucking running football. Nobody wants to watch boring. Nobody can move the ball on offense. There's 80 punts in the game. That's literally what it was. That's what people pine for when they're like, oh, it's so soft. You can't even kill the quarterback. Yeah, because of that, now we have fun games of football where both teams can score 30 points. Which do you actually want? Do you want a game that protects the quarterback where we can score 30 plus points a game? Or do you want the old rules to come back where everybody dies and it's like 10-17 is the final in 90% of the games? Again, you have to think about the rules that exist now and what those have resulted in making this game very enjoyable to watch. Other than being annoyed with penalties because you're like, oh, that's so soft. It just gives us something to bitch about. But again, The reality of those penalties and those flags and those rules existing have given us the game that we all really much prefer when we see it. Because when we see the flashback to the old game, one of the first things we think of, wow, this is fucking boring. Like that. You can be honest. I think it too. And I love, like, you know, hey, it's fine. I have the same problem. But it's also like, that's why I tend to stop myself and I'm like, I don't want the old NFL. I never say that. I love the current NFL. I hate the old. I watch old NFL and I'm like, I wouldn't have liked this. I'd have been like, this is so boring. All they do is run the football and nothing ever happens. It's 13-7 yet again. And they score by 7. Like that bore the shit out of me. I'd be like, they score one time in them games and then they kick it's like soccer with a couple extra steps. No thanks. But now they got this NFL that I grew up with where guys are throwing balls, making one-handed catches because defenders can't just kill a motherfucker for no reason. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, that one guy. That's how I sit too. If it's really good offenses causing the no scoring, I love low-scoring football games, like the Super Bowl with the Rams and the Patriots in 2019. A lot of people are like, that was bad offense. No, it wasn't. What are you talking? Have you ever watched that Super Bowl again without your weird anti-Patriot bias and just since the Patriots aren't good anymore, you can go back and rewatch it? If you go, yeah, exactly. Even that one guy's talking about it now. That's a literal master class of defensive game planning in that game. Like that was one of the best defensive Super Bowls ever. And it's like, man, it's like any other era that would be considered an instant classic. That sucks. Sorry to get on my soapbox there. Exactly. And again, I tend to agree. Like, I don't really like low-scoring games either. I get pretty fired up when something happens in them. But also, it's like, that's why I never complained for the old NFL to come back. Because, again, you have to understand what that would bring back. They would bring back a bunch of fucking boring football that nobody wants to watch. They'd literally be like... You know what the Patriots would start doing again if they took away the 5-yard bump and run rule? They'd kill your receiver. They'd get a bunch of big bully fucking DBs like they used to have, like Rodney Harrison, Lawyer Malloy, Ty Law, and just bury them at the line of scrimmage. and then every Colts fan would be like, why are they doing this to us again? What did we do? Because the Colts had all these midget receivers like Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison that couldn't handle it. Let's not go down that road because then I'll get on another soapbox here. Games can get annoying because of the bad defense. Like, really, Bills? Y'all couldn't stop. Yeah, exactly. That Chiefs-Bills game. It's like, really? Buffalo? You couldn't make one stop? Now, I will say that Eagles-Patriots Super Bowl was... probably one of the most entertaining Super Bowls. So I don't know. The Falcons, you know what's funny? With the Patriots, they played in so many Super Bowls in the last decade or the last 2 decades. A lot of the best Super Bowls include, but the Patriots first. Think about how many times you actually have to like consider how many times the Patriots have to be thrown in this sentence. Yeah, but man, that Super Bowl with the Patriots and you got the Seattle Super Bowl, you got the Falcons Super Bowl, the Rams Super Bowl sucked. You got that Eagles Super Bowl, you got the fucking first 3 Super Bowls they all played in, I think all ending on like fucking walk-off field goals and like game style. Like they played in one bad Super Bowl against the Rams and even the losses were instant fucking classics. Even the 2 Giants ones. As much as I hate them, it's like, man, have the Patriots literally ever, with Belichick, ever, other than that second Rams Super Bowl, played in a boring Super Bowl that wasn't one of the most entertaining fucking things to watch in a long time? It's like, wow, this is good. This is really fucking good. At least we're entertaining when we show up to the party every year. Except that one time. Yeah, I know. The Rams, the Astros, and the Mariners are like, what inning are they in, Kev? That motherfucking game won't end. All right, you guys want to move on? Does anybody have the Jets beating the Packers? That's my analysis, by the way. That whole rant was my Jets versus Packers analysis. How was that? Pretty good? Do you guys feel more educated about this upcoming game between the Jets and the Packers? You gotta admit that's probably one of the best like ways I can transition back into a game. Super Bowl 42. Let's go back to. I'm more fond of it than Super Bowl 46, of only being 8 when it aired. Super Bowl 42 was the Tyree one, right? That one's the worst one for me. The Manningham one was just like, oh, of course they're gonna win, But the fucking undefeated season that hurts me more than anything ever. Like I think about that quite. I'm like, man, we could have been undefeated. And I know, what I know too. The Patriots and Tom Brady, that hurts them the most too. Dude, it's just. That's the worst one. It's like, motherfuckers, man. That Eagles loss felt like nothing. That second one felt like nothing. That fucking loss, though. Again, that's why losses feel like nothing to me as a fan. You as a fan, you can lose any number of games. I think only other than the Falcons know what a bad, painful loss feels like. Then your whole undefeated season as a fan ending in the champion. Oh boy, that was brutal. Although the Jets do have an interesting offense, but again, against the Dolphins, they were given the football, I felt like, a million times. I felt like they got a million chances against the Dolphins, and it's like, of course they're gonna score all them points. They got what they have the ball, like how many possessions did they have? Like fucking 20. It's just like, yeah, I mean, how often did Skylar Thompson and the Dolphins punt the football back? Isn't it kind of cringy and weird that the Dolphins are supposed to have this like offensive genius as a head coach and all these and supposed to have this like super powered, high powered offense? And the Patriots and rookie Bailey Zappi are way more competent on offense than they are. I don't know why that's weird. I think that's weird. Does anybody else think that's an odd statement that the Dolphins are supposed to be like this super offensive team and the Patriots aren't, and yet the Patriots' third string quarterback looks way more competent than the Dolphins' third string quarterback? I don't know. I feel like it wouldn't be that hard to work in the Dolphins system. I'd be like, all right, I'm going to throw it deep to Tyreek Hill. If he's not open, I'm going to throw it medium to Waddle. Sorry, that seems like the easiest fucking job in all of football. How is Skylar Thompson not prepared to do that? I mean, shit, dude. I mean, that can't be that hard. It's just like, well, if he's had 3 practices, he's probably good to go, right? Like, anyway, all right. So we'll move on to the next one. I would imagine the Packers though should have this pretty well wrapped up, unless like something crazy happens, right? Like, because again, the Jets have gotten lucky. The Skylar Thompson with Teddy Bridgewater went down with a head injury, so the Dolphins had to use their third string. The Browns had a historic collapse. I don't remember who the third team the Jets beat was. Who's the third team that these losers beat? Who's their third victim? The Jest. Jest. What's up, Jay? Was it the Steelers? Yeah, it was the Steelers. All right, yeah, and the Steelers don't really count, so yeah, I'm not really impressed by the Jets there. Packers, same kind of thing, but they beat the Patriots, and that's a much more impressive win than anything the Jets have pulled off this year. So we'll move on to the next game, as nobody seems to care about it. Well, I mean, other than the Packers and the one Jets fan. I just can't picture a strong Jets team completing a sweep against Ryan. Yeah, we're on to the next one. Your Texans are off. All right. So we have the Jaguars and the Colts. Colts over Jags. It's not in Jacksonville. Yeah, I know a lot of people are saying this, and a lot of people are kind of like, well, the Jaguars turned back into the Jaguars last week, but they also just never beat the Texans. It doesn't matter when, where, what the situation is. If you go look at this, it's like this weird long history where the Jags will like occasionally beat the Texans. I think most of their wins came in 2017, 2 of them. And other than that, it's all losses to the Texans. Literally just all losses. So, I wouldn't take anything that happens in a Colts, or again, the AFC South might be one of the most like cesspity or like football like conferences ever. It's kind of like the NFC West where teams just have these weird histories. There is no steady Jags Colts history in Indianapolis, by the way. It's not guaranteed that the Colts will beat the Jaguars in Indianapolis. It's often Indy gets swept by the Colts and by the Jags, and nobody talks about it because it's just who gives a shit. At the end of the season, it's like, well, Indy won 14 games and 2 losses were to the Jaguars. It's just like, really? What happened? Who gives a shit? What was second place in the division? 8 wins. And nobody ever talked about this, by the way, with Peyton Manning. And then, you know what else no one ever pointed out about Peyton Manning? He would often lose in the playoffs when he started playing actually good teams. And you know what everybody accused the Patriots of? Benefiting from an easy schedule inside of the AFC East, which is, while true, they also killed every single team they played in the playoffs for the most part, always playing in AFC title games or the Super Bowl. So that argument doesn't work against the Patriots. It actually works against Peyton Manning. Getting to play the Titans, of the early 2000s. What a tough team the early 2000s Titans were. Can you name one fucking player from those teams? Other than when Randy Moss got traded there in 08, 09? Yeah, that was a bad Steve McNair, and then he, unfortunate. And then after that, it's shit sailing. It's like literally Steve McNair, he got shot, and then it was just bad. So, and then it was the expansion Jaguars in the AFC South with Peyton Manning. Wow, that's, the Jaguars, they won a lot right away in the NFL. I don't think they won more than 3 games for a long time. Yeah, Vrabel was a Patriot at that point, Ben. That was more end of his career, went down to Tennessee. And then the expansion Texans were who Peyton Manning had to play against. Not even Bortles yet. This was Mark Brunell. This was Maurice Jones-Drew. This was the Jaguars 8 years into existence. This is your dad's Jaguars. What's up, Flame? And then also the Texans when they had the older car. This is literally Peyton Manning's entire career in Indy. That's who he played. Except for the first 3 years when he couldn't manage to win more than 3 games and he was throwing 30 picks a year almost against the Patriots and the AFC East. Again, Peyton Manning, garbage quarterback until they threw his ass into the AFC South away from the Patriots, who were bullying this man, making him look bad. So the AFC East that he was in, Peyton Manning was a garbage quarterback in that one. Yeah, I can't believe the Astros game there's 17 innings. Oh my God. Is that you, Goat? The Flame Legend Sports? Unquestionable Goat? Do you change your name? Usually that's Goat's line is the howdy. I mean, okay, I'll give you back your mod. My main question, though, to get back on track about the Colts, and I was just using this to shit talk Peyton Manning a little bit, as I like to do, and remind people that a lot of the things people accuse Tom Brady of is actually true about Peyton Manning. But that's really not the big point of my rant there. If you haven't left a like, consider doing so. It helps the stream out. We're up to 11 likes. I appreciate y'all. I don't trust the Colts offensive line whatsoever. What I seen happen against the Texans or against the Broncos can't happen against the Jaguars. Not the Jaguars pass rush. Literally the one thing that this team has that is scarier than almost any other team in football is their pass rush. Tavon Walker, Josh Allen, and 3 other guys are all number ones on every single team in the NFL. Other than Von Miller, I don't know a single team where these guys don't start. Josh Allen or Tavon. Walker might not because he's a rookie, but Josh Allen starts on just about every team in the NFL over your team starter. Like, I'm trying to think of in the NFL where he wouldn't immediately start over somebody, and it's like, I guess the Bosas, Myles Garrett, the TJ Watt. I guess that's it, right? That's probably it. And then maybe one of the Niners. I think they got Fred Warner too. No, he's a linebacker, different position. So, you know what I mean? It's like who? I mean, they don't have an offensive line in Indy, and they're out both their running backs in this game. So no Jonathan Taylor, no Naheem Hines. Both are out. Yeah. Oh, your Jack Jones jersey? Hell yeah, there you go. All history is good in baseball. You're a Bengals fan now, Flame. Since when are you a Bengals fan? Oh, what the heck? Uh-oh. I don't know if that's actually you, Bucks. Or, Goat. How do I know that that's you? You're not even repping the right team anymore. The Braves lost. Yeah, Braves did lose. He's a Buccaneers fan, I thought. Since when did you stop rocking with the Bucks? I have to take away your mod because I don't think you're who I think you are. If you are, send me a message on Discord and I'll give it back. But for right now, I don't know who you are. You failed a very simple question. What's up, Karam? Chilling. How you doing? Yeah, you're just not a moderator. You're fine chilling here. It's just I thought you were somebody else. I thought you were unquestionable GOAT. Sus. Uh-oh. Sussy, imposter. Everybody eject Fernando. I watched him vent in the what was one of the names of the place? I watched him vent in the control room. Super fucking sus, dude. I don't take a lot of these games serious this week, by the way. Like Packers Jets. I've seen a lot of people picking the Jets in this one. I'm like, why are you doing that? It's like the Packers have actually pretty solid defense this year, despite like everything you might have seen. Like I don't know what happened in that Giants game, but like it's like that was just a weird collapse. Giants are just a pretty solid football team apparently. But the Jets, I don't know. That would be quite the win for the Jets. It would be quite the prove it game. See, there's two ways the Jets can prove themselves in this game, right? They don't necessarily have to win to be like, oh, okay, the Jets are actually a good football team now. Okay. If they lose by like a point or two, or like they keep it within a single score, like say they lose by a touchdown only. That's not bad. They lose by a field goal. That's not bad. They lose by 10 points. That's really not that bad. Anything over 10 points, it's like, all right, well, the Jets were kind of a fluke, I figured. But you know what I mean? Like, you just got to kind of look at like what the sliding scale on everything is for the Jets. Like, again, if they win, that's a great, like, okay, the Jets are a pretty solid team. They're, look out, here they come. But if not, then it's like, all right, well, it's just the Jets. And it just, you got to look at how they play this game. And I think with the Jaguars and the Colts, I feel like it's a toss-up game. AFC South is kind of doo-doo this year. Is this going to be one of them fabled years? Well, the Titans will probably win the division running away with it eventually at 9-8. It's going to be the worst division in the AFC, and everyone's just going to be like, yeah, that's the only bad one. All the worst teams are in the AFC South. That's where all the bad teams in the AFC are. Everywhere else, pretty good except the Steelers. They just had a bad year. All right, Vikings and Dolphins. Again, you could be going with the Colts or the Jags in that one, and you can make a solid argument either way. My argument here is I don't trust Matt Ryan with that bad offensive line and no run game to support him. NFC East, maybe. I would also say you have to look at the AFC East. If the Patriots and if the Patriots and Jets lose, and even if the Dolphins were to lose, all of the teams would be 500 or better in the AFC East. And I think that would be the best in the NFL. So now, if somehow all those teams win, then every team would be, except the Patriots, would be 3-3 and then better. I actually think by total record, does the AFC East have the best records? I mean, again, you have just because of I actually got the 2 fucking 4-1 teams out there in that. Actually, yeah, you got all the really good records by the 3 top heavy teams. So, and Washington's the only bad one. Yeah, the East divisions are the best in the NFL right now, by the looks of it. The shocking AFC East is the shocking rise of the AFC East is my favorite secret storyline. Vikings easy, Vikings by 15. Yeah, the Vikings have to start Skylar Thompson. And again, if it's any indication of how they played last week, I can't pick them. Maybe you can make an argument. But I don't know what argument you'd make. Well, it's Kirk Cousins, yeah, but it's 1:00. They'd have to be like, oh, that's true. Shit. Because Kirk Cousins goes from Blake Bortles on primetime to Tom Brady at 1:00 on just a 1:00 game. It's hilarious, too. You can literally watch the difference. He's a different quarterback. I don't know what this is. Maybe it's just something so deeply embedded in his brain where it's just like, damn, dude, imagine that being like your weakness is you can't play very well at like 8:00 p.m. or later. And he finally admits why. He's like, well, I go to bed at 7:30. And everyone's like, what the fuck? It's like, yeah, so did Tom Brady. He could still play primetime games, you fucking retard. Yeah, he's afraid of the dark. He's like, listen, you ever try to see outside at night? Like, what, Kirk? He's like, listen, it's fucking scary out there. I can't see the sun or the sky at nighttime. Like, he's like having a bad moment. He's like, I can't look up and see the fucking clouds. Fucking hate it. He's just angry about something. He's just distracted. Where all these stars come from? Why can't I see them in the daytime if they're that close? I would really like that if that's why Kirk just can't play at nighttime, because he's like super afraid of the dark. And he's like confused by nighttime because he goes to bed before the nighttime comes in. So he's just, whenever he sees it, he's just mesmerized. He's like, what the fuck? Where'd the sun go? No one ever explained to him how nighttime works, so he's just fucking baffled every time it turns into nighttime. He's like, think someone's fucking with him all the time. He's like, man, this is some kind of joke. I want that to be true. That's going to be true in my head. That's officially lore to me now, that Kirk Cousins is just, he's not bad at football at nighttime. He's just more so confused by the environment of nighttime, the atmosphere of the evening, because he goes to bed at 7:30 like a good Christian man. He, like, when he gets home off the planes, he gets carried to his wife's car by one of the players. Like a big baby. Like, they just kind of pick him up, and Kirk's just sleeping like this after a long flight home from playing like the Niners. He's just on like Danielle Hunter's shoulder, and he takes Kirk and puts him in the car and buckles him in, and they drive away. And his wife then has to somehow pick him up and carry him in the house too. and put big old baby Kirk Cousins down for a sleep. He won though. It was a 1:00 game. Yeah, dude, trust me. I'd imagine Kirk Cousins has a hilarious life, and this is much funnier to me than anyone listening. I'm surprised people are still listening after that. See what the thing is? Not a lot of people doubt that is the truth. Nobody's really fighting back on me on that. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Kirk? Come here a minute. Like, he doesn't ask anybody out. Like, he only wants to ask certain people. He's like, hey, Justin, come here. He's like, you're cool, right? Like, you're not like a weirdo. And Justin's like, yeah, man, I'm cool. He's like, Justin, where do you think the sun goes at night? He's just like, and Justin's like, he looks around, he goes, I think someone steals it. And like, they're having this conversation. I'm just like, Adam, okay, this has nothing to do with the Vikings and Dolphins. I don't know how this started. Anyway, so that's Kirk. That's why Kirk's good at 1:00, because the sun is still out and he's not distracted by the odds and the weird circumstances. You know, we've been through 4 games in an hour. It's a pretty good rate, I would say. We're gonna be done by midnight, going over 14 games. It's gonna be the longest episode, despite it being the shortest amount of games yet. I was like, man, how am I gonna get this to be as long as the other episodes? Oh, don't worry about that. I'm just gonna keep talking about nothing. Yeah, Adam Thielen's like, yeah, I don't think the sun's real. Pretty sure it's a fucking spotlight. And Kirk is like, see, he knows. Just fuck this. And the Dolphins players are like, I'm pretty sure I can hear them, and I think we're losing to a team that doesn't know how nighttime works. And they're all just like, damn, that's embarrassing. Yeah, the new protocols. Yeah, this is the worst 2 weeks to get a concussion. You can thank the goddamn Miami Dolphins for their shit handling of Tua. If they did, literally, none of this would be going on with all these concussion things if this team, Miami wouldn't be forced to play a third-string quarterback had they sat Tua against the Bengals. What's up, Charles? 7-0. Oh, really? First time Michigan is? No, we're not in football Hunger Games. But with the Dolphins, they should be all right. Despite having to use a third string quarterback, they scored a lot of points last week with their boy genius offensive guru quarterback, right? Like, say the Patriots, who have worse receivers than the Dolphins, had to use a third string quarterback, and Miami had to use a third string quarterback. Which situation would you think, like, the team with the better offensive coaching, the better offensive minds, with the better offensive weapons would do better for a third string than the Patriots with Matt Patricia? What? And Joe Judge? Oh wait, I bet you Bailey Zappi's gonna look way better than Skylar Thompson ever does with the Dolphins. Is Mike McDaniel actually that good at calling a pass game other than a run game? I don't know. Why can't Miami run the football? Sure the fuck seems like the 49ers can just still do the same goddamn thing they've done the last 3 years, even without Mike McDaniel. But Mike McDaniel sure can't run the football down there in Miami. What happened? I thought he was a run game genius. Outside of one game against the Ravens, who just don't play second halves of football, what have the Dolphins really done on offense? Just wondering. They have this great offensive genius as a head coach. I was led to believe they'd be scoring 90 points a game. What are they averaging, like 20? It's just like, oh, that's cool. They wouldn't have scored that many against us if we didn't give them back the football 3 times. So... Again, I ask you, what I don't know. I think we were sold a false bill of goods about Mike McDaniel is all I'm thinking. Maybe he should pay a little bit better attention to what the fuck's going on around him. That aloof stuff is funny, but it's also like, maybe it's not an act. Maybe that guy just don't know what he's doing. Like, yeah, he can follow Kyle Shanahan's game plans really well. 18 innings? Jesus. What's funny, Mike? There's no way Matt Patricia-led offense is averaging more points than the Dolphins are. Get out of here. Ain't no way. 0% chance. Actually, I don't think there actually would be. I think we haven't. I think we've only scored 20 once. So I actually, unless that 29. Oh yeah, if you remove the fourth quarter of the Ravens game, Mike, tell them about how many touchdowns that Dolphins offense has scored outside of that fourth quarter. Oh. Just to remind everybody how bad the Ravens offense has been. Patriots have way better offense. We're just saying. This is why I'm going with the Vikings. The Dolphins offense, not been very good. They're not very well coached as a football team, I don't think. They were better off with Brian Flores. Does anybody even doubt that at this point? And Dolphins fans are like, yeah, but he didn't like Tua. So fuck him. Yeah, and Tua outside of that Ravens game has been fucking money this season. He was doing a bang-up job against the Bills before he got taken out of the game. They had all of 13 points. Woo-wee! Somebody alert the presses. Tua had like 150 yards against the Bills. Yeah, because fucking Flores wouldn't use that bum-ass quarterback. He's like, all right, put in Fitzpatrick. This is fucking stupid. This guy stinks. Yeah, which is the right move. Yeah. Yeah. Not good. Not till Tua comes back. I'm not picking the Dolphins. But once Tua comes back again, I'll probably pick the Dolphins to win. But until then, give me the Vikings. Let's move on to another game. We have the Bengals and the Saints. This is another game I'm confused about. What are people seeing in the Saints in this game? Are we forgetting that the Bengals, like, I know they lost. All right, have a good one, Fernando. Yep. If I don't see you later, I'll see you tomorrow for the Patriots. Like, what am I missing about the Saints in this game that people think that they're going to beat the Bengals, who just held the Ravens, who have scored like almost 30 points in every game, to like 19 points and a walk-off field goal? Please tell me what I'm missing about the Bengals here from that performance that makes you go, yeah, they stand no shot against the Saints. Because I've seen a lot of people pick the Saints in this one. I'm very confused. Because they beat up on the Seahawks defense? Yeah, the Lions scored 45 against the Seahawks defense, and then the very next week they got blanked by the Patriots. So don't use the Seahawks as like a scale to measure out fucking how good your offense is, because your offense is going to look 3 times better when they play Seattle. Every single Seattle game, you should just pretty much be like, this is going to be a shootout probably. It's just like, all right, well, the other team's scoring 30 and Geno and company might as well score. They're probably going to score 32. This is awesome football. See, that's the fun part. Again, so I feel like there's a lot of overvaluing what the Saints did to the Seahawks. They also gave up 32 points to a busted up offense with no offensive line. Yeah, I think Olave is all they got. They got Olave, a bunch of nobodies, and Andy Dalton starting with guys like that's not real. You can't beat an actually like non-crippled defense with what the Saints are about to throw at somebody. And again, I've seen a lot of people pick against the Bengals. I get it. The Bengals haven't played like knockout football, but I really wouldn't use a 19-17 game against their bitter division rival as like a like true tried and like sure way to like Like, oh, that's what they are. It's like, I don't know, man. Are you sure that's a good way to take that from that game? Or are you kind of like jumping something a little bit here? I don't know if I'm explaining or saying this correctly. Hey, we're at 12 likes. I appreciate that, everybody. I don't think division games against two good teams that are like bitter rivals, like everybody in the AFC North is like the best way to be like, oh, that's what they are. Be like, no, not really. There could be like long-standing history things. It's just those games are so hard. Astros scored. Oh shit! Finally, the Astros scored 1-0 heading into the bottom. Is it still top of the 18th or is it bottom of the 18th now? AFC North is the hood of football. Yeah, and the NFC North is like the white people, is like the Eastern European part of football. If that makes sense, because it's like the white hood, but it's like a bunch of like big burly dudes, so it's like Eastern Europe. Clemson slapping the shit out of Florida State. Oh, Amir's fully erect right now. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Bengals could lose this game because, again, they haven't played that great this year, the Cincinnati Bengals. They had been playing good till they ran into the Ravens. But again, the Ravens are kind of, again, it's so hard to figure out from like those kind of games. Homecoming for Joey and Chase. Yeah, plus that, like, they might want to just come in and fucking murder this. By the way, I have my own opinions about this. You guys can mark this down right here as like you heard it here first from Dirty Rob. Joe Burrow will not finish his career as a Bengal, but he will 100% finish his career as a New Orleans Saint. Put the countdown down. How long is left on this contract? Yeah, he's not staying. He's going to be a New Orleans Saint. It feels like one of the most obvious, like, oh yeah, no, that's going to happen. He, like, half of his charities are down in New Orleans already. Like, go look at like half the shit it's like 90% of like he does like stuff for New Orleans and also Cincinnati. Maybe, but I know Burrow really likes Louisiana. I think he like I think something in his mind is just like, I think he just had too good of an experience. And he's just connected to that area, which, I mean, dude, I can't blame him. If you're like the king of that area and you win a natty down there, I can only imagine that like you're treated like an actual god. And like, it's also Louisiana, so people probably also leave him. I don't know. It's either Cincinnati or New Orleans will have Burrow long term. And my guess, it'll be the Saints. But we'll see. Unless they fire Zach Taylor, and in comes a certain Saints former head coach. Hey, give me that Bengals headset. I'm Sean Payton. Fuck you all. And then he'll never leave Cincinnati because then he has Sean Payton. Again, I have my own theories. I think Sean Payton's the future coach of the Bengals when they fire that loser. I don't think Zach Taylor's a good head coach. They need to get rid of that guy. Now Sean Payton as the head coach of this Bengals team? Oh, fuck. Woo. Maybe potentially Fernando. I'm not sure. I think it was on Christmas. They started doing this about route run, and people think they got spooked because he said Chase pretty much only runs slants. Yeah, that's not the worst thing though. It's like, yeah, Tyreek Hill runs a lot of slants too, and a lot of fucking out routes or routes across the middle. So Randy Moss literally ran straight go routes. Who cares? And Randy Moss's most complicated routes were like this. Sometimes they went and he ran a comeback. I'm sorry, but like sometimes you're so fast or you're so good at what you do as a receiver, you don't need to put him on a complicated route tree. Just send the motherfucker straight down the field. Like, yeah, I'm gonna make sure my 4-2 receiver is running the most complicated route tree that's out. No, fuck that. Hey Randy, you want to run a go route? Go. If you want to run a post, you want to run a corner, it's just yep. You want to run a comeback? Yep. I can do all of those. All right, we're good then. Some guys don't need complicated route stuff. So I think a lot of route stuff is designed to get the receiver open. There's like a fucking fly on my fucking mic. It's bothering the shit out of me. The Patriots, probably. All right, let's move on. Ravens and Giants. I don't know. This feels like a better game. Okay, so here's like the tension and the drama in this game, right? It's Wink Martindale. How does this play out? You have two scenarios here with Wink Martindale. It's like one or the other or both happen, and it's like a wash, and it doesn't have any impact on the game. So okay, so I guess there's three scenarios. One being the wash. It's the Ravens. Okay, so Wink Martindale, if you didn't know, is the former long-term defensive coordinator of the Ravens. He's been there almost the entirety of the John Harbaugh run. And maybe even predates John Harbaugh. So he's been there for a very goddamn long time, right? So he knows every single thing about the Ravens team, their offensive philosophies, the kind of way they run the game, the kind of way they think about football, or at least, until maybe, because John Harbaugh probably switched a few things. So there's probably been a few tweaks and changes, but he generally has an idea of what they want to do on offense. Now, he's a very smart defensive mind in football. So he's going to utilize that, and the Giants are going to be on their A game on defense. That's something you have to keep in mind. Then you also have to keep in mind the Ravens. Here's kind of the other side of that. The Ravens also know every single thing about the way Wink Martindale thinks about offense and defense. So they can create a game plan that works just outside the strengths of what Wink Martindale is capable of thinking. Or like what the strengths of his defensive ability and like game plan. They know like what his looks are going to look like. They know his like coaching schemes and his coaching philosophy. Something has to give there, right? Like the coach who knows the offense and the team that knows that's been my tension and conflict in trying to pick this game. Wink Martindale makes this so fucking complicated. Usually I just pick the Ravens and be like, yeah, there's no offense from the Giants. It's not enough. It's just like, boy, that really makes everything complicated. What the fuck is the Ravens offense going to look like? Are they going to look like Supermen because they know exactly how to beat Wink's defense? Or is Wink's defense, the defensive coordinator for the Giants, going to look like an absolute like genius because he just knows every single fucking like tendency of that Ravens offense before they even think about it because he was there for so long with the whole rise of Lamar? Which one of these is like... When you really think about it, everyone's like, "Ooh, this is why this game's complicated, huh? This is actually a lot." Because again, if you just look at it on the surface, you'd be like, "Oh, the Ravens will win," and then you'll move on and just kind of not think about it. But when you really start looking at personnel, you're like, "Oh, that does kind of complicate things in a weird way." And if you don't think it does, it most certainly does. That's why you see a lot of coordinators able to upset the coach that they used to play for. Like, I'm sure if the Bills were to play the Giants this season, the Giants would get a crazy upset over them. It's one of them things where it's like, man, I wish they actually played this year so I could pick the Giants and look like an absolute genius if that was to actually happen. Do I think that Dabo would upset the Bills? Oh, yeah, he would. He would. Oh, dude, he'd pull the rug right out from under that offense, and they'd be like, the fuck happened to our offense? Why can't we do anything? It's just like when the Lions just pulled the rug out from the Patriots with Matt Patricia, and like suddenly Tom Brady was just looking like a complete idiot out there against, or like when they couldn't beat the Dolphins with Brian Flores, and it keeps going, and how they struggled with Bill O'Brien's Texans and didn't do very well against Romeo Crennel. It's just a long list of coordinators seem to just have this weird ability because again, when you know a coach is like inside, outside, and like everything about a team, you should have a little advantage there. That being said, I still like the Ravens in this one because I think these two teams it's going to be a defensive football game, and you kind of have to look at what you trust more. And it's like, well, I trust the Ravens offense probably a lot more than the Giants. So even if this becomes a defensive game where neither team can really do much with the football, I would trust the Ravens to at least still do something. Whereas it's kind of hard to just look at the Giants and be like, yeah, I totally trust Daniel Jones with no receivers and just Saquon Barkley really to work with. Though I will say Saquon Barkley is your comeback player of the year probably at this point. Everybody keeps saying Geno Smith. Was he injured last year? I don't remember him being hurt. Like, it's not just the guy who sat on a bench. That's not how comeback player of the year works. That's probably just your shitty device you're listening to. Yeah, it sounds just fine. Not really sure why you said that. Yeah, people keep saying Geno Smith. I'm like, I don't think he was hurt. I guess if he was hurt, then yeah, he's a candidate. But like, I thought he was the backup for the Seahawks last year. That's not how the award works. The award typically works if you get hurt and misses. Not just like, well, he was a backup last year. No, you're not eligible to win the award unless you were put on the season-ending IR. Literally, that's how the award works. You have to like be on the IR list to end the season from the like. Okay, so Brian Robinson's a great example of people who just don't. Mac, yeah, I figured Mac is unlikely to play Max. I was saying earlier that I think that the Patriots were using the will Mac play or will Zappy play thing, so your defense doesn't know who to fully prepare for. I think it's a smokescreen tactic that was made to distract your team from fully committing to preparing for Bailey Zappi on the off chance Mac plays. I think it was a coaching move. But yeah. Unless again, if Brian Robinson was to have missed this whole season due to getting shot, then he played last season. He would be the hardest player to ever beat, other than Alex Smith, for the Comeback Player of the Year award. But since he got shot and missed like 3 games, guys, I've seen like seriously, like Mac Jones has missed the same amount of time as a guy who got shot. So people keep saying like it's like this like courageous like heroic comeback, and it's like I've seen guys sprain their ankles and miss more time. I'm sorry, but like what am I missing? It's awesome. It's a great story. But was it that serious of an injury? Again, bad injury. Terrible optics, right? Because the guy got shot. I'm glad he was all right. And it's a miracle and everything like that. But Trent Williams is out 6 weeks with a high ankle sprain. What was worse? The sprained ankle or getting shot and you only missed 3 weeks? Sprained ankle 6 weeks, getting shot 3 weeks. I'm just saying. Or no. More than likely, with Brian Robinson, he got shot again. He didn't miss any like significant time. Even it's just like, and there are people out there like Matthew Berry who are like tweeting, "Oh, Brian Robinson should automatically get Comeback Player of the Year award." Well, no, he shouldn't. He didn't really miss any time. What are we doing? That's not how this award has very specific parameters. It's for people like Saquon Barkley or Christian McCaffrey. Like right now, it's Saquon Barkley. Like I literally can't think of anybody else but Saquon Barkley who's Comeback Player of the Year right now. And I guess Geno Smith if he was actually injured last year. Yeah, Ben, I seen that. Cam Akers demanded a trade. Future Bill. By the way, the Bills are going to trade for a running back. I don't think that I don't think they're happy at all. They need a running game. Like, desperately. They'll trade for Akers or they'll trade for Christian McCaffrey. One of those two guys are going to be a fucking Bill. And that sucks. Because, again, Zach Cook might be all right, but he's not quite ready to be a full-term running back. Not quite. Not quite ready. He got the ball hit on him a few times already, I've noticed. Which is a very similar problem that his older brother has. The ball getting punched out. Yeah, Akers just never really isn't panning out. He got hurt, and I think Sony Michel is on the Chargers. All right, so how are people feeling about this game, Ravens and Giants? No one really said anything. Oh wait, actually, I think everyone did. I think everyone said Ravens. Never mind. Buccaneers and Steelers. Game of the week. Yeah, exactly, Ven. Their running game is pretty irrelevant. They're one of the few teams that can get away with a fucking no running game. I'm more interested to see if anybody's picking the Steelers. I feel like I don't have to say much about this fucking game. Other than this is probably going to be the first year that old Mike Tomlin loses more than he wins. Was literally Todd Gurley. Yeah, he didn't last very long. They used the shit out of that guy. Yeah, it's weird to see the Steelers at this. Kenny Pickett doesn't look very good. I don't know. Things are looking so hot. What's up, Anthony? I seen a newspaper article today, kind of off topic, from the LA Times, that literally said the phrase. Hold on, let me look at it so I don't miss. It's about baseball. Let me quote this correctly. It's from the LA Times about the Dodgers. If there ever was a case for canceling the MLB playoffs and awarding a championship to one team because it was clearly better than all the others, the 2022 Los Angeles Dodgers would be it. From the LA Times. It's real. They actually wrote a whole article about that. Well, it's an opinion, so it's not actually like their actual article. It's just some sports blogger's opinion on the site. But if you ever wonder why I make fun of sports media and say things like, look at these fans celebrating, look at these, like, if you've listened to me long enough, you hear me mock teams when they lose games with what happened to the undefeated season. I was led to believe that this team was undefeated, Super Bowl champions before the season started. This whole regular season was just for show. The undefeated season was already, like, whenever a team like the Chiefs lose a game or like the Bills, I tend to go in on their teams like that, right? Because their fans give this because I'll actually see it somewhere, or like I'll fucking get this feeling that the fans assume that they're going to win every single game and win the Super Bowl. And then when I see things like this Dodgers fan tweeting shit and writing an LA Times opinion piece about how they should cancel the playoffs and just give the Dodgers the title, I'm like, see, I told you that's real people. I don't even make this shit up. Those are real fans out there. I'm just making fun of them. And I can't even make up fans. Like, I can't even make up fan behavior, because eventually I'll see some shit where it's like, oh no, that actually happens. There are actually fans that think like that. Maybe that's why people don't laugh that hard when I do these impersonations, because they're like, that's not me. You got to parlay with the Steelers plus 9. Steelers, I mean, the Steelers could cover, I guess. Jets plus 7.5. Jets could cover. I have the Cowboys straight winning. I think the Giants can cover, and I have the Chiefs straight winning. So I don't disagree with that. The only one I'm a little nervous about for you is that Steelers one, but 9.5 is 10 points is pretty big to win by. What's up, Shlomo? Did you hear all the betting sites for people who took the under for Thursday night? They didn't even bother waiting for the end of the game at halftime. They just made them the winners. They're like, yeah, just give them their fucking money. If you bet the under, you win. You got us again this week. All right, so we'll move on to the Rams-Panthers. Anybody got the Panthers in that game? Again, there's a couple bad games where we're just going to kind of rapid fire through here, like this one. I don't have anything to say about this fucking. I think this might be the unironically worst game of the weekend. The Rams are playing shitty football. The Panthers are going to have a bunch of guys that are playing like half-ass football so they don't get hurt, and they're not stuck hurt on a bad team all season because they couldn't get traded off to a good team when the fucking Panthers fire sale comes because Matt Rule was fired. Oh, dude, they're going to look so bad. Like, because you know how some teams like rally together and like win games, but like there are like 4 guys that could actually be traded and like turn this team around if you want to do like a very quick rebuild. For the Panthers. So like it's Ben, I normally would agree because of the whole like interim coaches like always win their first game. It's like the weirdest phenomena in the NFL. It's like if your team gets a new coach like midway through the season and your team doesn't show signs of blowing it all up, right? You went to the casino? Hell yeah, Anthony. Hopefully you didn't gamble too much. I normally would agree there, but I think the Panthers players, like there's several players that I don't think want to be there anymore. I think they're just done. They want to be traded. They don't want to get hurt. Again, normally I would agree because, you know, normally like teams aren't like very obviously about to blow this thing up. If you're Christian McCaffrey, how hard are you trying? Like if you're McCaffrey this week, knowing that they're already talking about like there's been like serious interest expressed in McCaffrey. You know what I mean? Like if you're Christian McCaffrey, what are you doing this week? In all honesty, how hard are you running? 50%? Because you don't want to get hurt and be stuck. Because like you're hearing teams seriously will take your contract, and you have a shot to go to a good team. You know what I'm worried about though? What I'm very much worried about? Breaking news. The Patriots have acquired Christian fucking McCaffrey. I'd be like, oh, I knew it. Motherfucker, I tried to avoid reality. This is what I get. Because, by the way, if you ever want to know how Bill Belichick feels about Christian McCaffrey, have you ever heard the way he spoke about Hunter Henry? You ever want to see somebody speak more fondly of somebody than Hunter Henry? Oh, Bill Belichick loves Christian McCaffrey. He'd trade both his running backs for Christian McCaffrey. And that hurts me so much because I'm like, we're going to lose Damian Harris for goddamn fucking Christian McCaffrey and a first-round draft pick. Bill won't even be able to help. If he can actually get that, he literally won't help himself. He'll literally be like, yeah, we're going to get that. It's just like, Bill, you didn't even hesitate, did you? You didn't even think twice. No, I didn't even need to. I've already got 90 different plays with his name specifically drawn on it. Because, again, Bill has his players. DJ Moore is one of them. My worst nightmare is the Bills getting Christian McCaffrey. I'll give the Bills the Super Bowl title if they get McCaffrey. All the one team wins must win except for the Texans. Yeah, the Bills will win the Super Bowl if they get McCaffrey or the Chiefs. One of those two teams get him, it's game over. Just literally give the title to them. Be like, oh, all right, well now how are you going to stop the offense? What are you going to do against the Bills? Think about how terrifying the state of the Bills are if they get McCaffrey. I do think the Patriots wouldn't be after Robbie Anderson, Mike. I think we'd be more so after DJ Moore. Bill says DJ Moore does things, again, he's another guy that the Patriots have very, very, or Bill Belichick has said very, very out of character things about. No, he probably won't get traded. Him, Burns, and Brown probably won't get traded. Derek Brown 100% will not be traded. DJ Moore might, because I believe he's asked for a trade. It's one of them things, if you want to give up a first and maybe 2 first, you can get DJ Moore. But again, you have to give up a lot to get DJ Moore. Brian Burns, you could probably get right around the deadline. But you're not going to get Derek Brown. I've seen a couple people talk about Derek Brown. I'm like, not him. Anybody else probably, but Derek Brown is probably gettable. DJ Moore is going to be a little harder. Yeah, but dude, DJ Moore is so good. It's like you're trading for a legit number one. Like, there's no way to even what are you not going to, I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, you're going to pay him that anyway if he was a free agent, if you wanted him. It's one of them situations. Oh, by the way, what Odell wants as a contract is leaked out. Apparently he wants something very similar to what the Cowboys gave Michael Gallup at 5 years and like, what was it, 62 and a half, 63 million, something like that. So about 11, what is that, 11, 5, 12 million almost? No, not 12. It might be 12, right? Yeah, just a little over 12. So that's what Odell's seeking, which ain't bad at all. Well, that's just the most recent rumor with Odell, and that's the kind of contract he's looking for. Yeah, I think so. I mean, isn't Odell really young? Like, I know he's had the injuries, but isn't he only like 28? I don't know how good this is. I don't think this guy's very reliable. But man, that'd be cool. But again, this always happens because Odell really wants to play for the like. Odell and Bill Belichick just get along really well. There's always going to be that interest. 29. That was just about right. It's about 5 years would be about the end of his contract, and about 60 million is probably right. Incentivize the shit out of it. I'm sure Odell would understand. Literally just make it games played. You don't even have to make it like production. Just literally be like, Odell, if you stay healthy, then you'll get we'll fully guarantee this contract if it's a games played. And he'll probably take that. You could probably get him down to 60 million, 55 million, if you fully guarantee it on games played. He'll probably take it. Odell isn't a silly boy. And that's a really good contract. And also, it lets Odell prove it. You know what I mean? And Odell's a prove it kind of guy. But it's also not like insulting a player and being like, I don't think you can perform anymore. It's just like, dude, we need you on the field if we're going to sign you to this kind of money. We'll give you every penny of it too, but I need you out on the... See, I'd be giving out guaranteed contracts left and right to every player on my team. I wouldn't give a fuck. I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to sign everybody. You want to see how I'm going to do that? How are you going to do that, GM Rob? I'm going to sign him for 10 million less than everybody else too. Watch this shit. And I would be like, how's he going to do this? And I'd go talk to the owner about we're giving everybody fully, because I just literally give out fully guaranteed deals to every player. First and foremost, philosophy wise, I don't think players should sign contracts that aren't fully guaranteed. Maybe that's like having watched baseball for so long and been like, yeah, that's the best way to give a player a contract is fully guaranteed. What happens if they get seriously hurt? Like, what are they supposed to do? Just not get their money? That's fucking gay. So I fully, I don't know, man. That's not cool. I have a problem with not fully guaranteed, especially in football. It's like, man, no. What if Tua was like retarded now and the Dolphins went, no, we don't got to pay him. It's like, and everyone would be like, oh, it's just part of business. And nobody would be upset about the money situation for Tua except fucking me. And like a bunch of other people that are like, this is wrong. This is why they need fully guaranteed contracts. And everyone would tell me to shut up again. And every time I see a disability thing happen in the NFL, I'm like, oh, this is why they need fully guaranteed contracts. And then we see something like the Deshaun Watson situation. And then everybody goes, this is why they don't deserve fully guaranteed contracts. It's like, shut the fuck up. What about the fucking 55 other guys on a team, 54 other guys on a team who don't do that? Plus the thousands of other practice squad players in this league who don't do that, and they like, yeah, just fully guarantee the money. Not enough. Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. It's just like every player deserves. Dude, it's like this game is so fucking violent. Jesus Christ. Plus, you'd be able to, like, literally, if you fully guaranteed deals, you'd be able to sign players for less money. Like, every single fully, other than Deshaun Watson, every single fully guaranteed contract I've ever seen in the NFL is like $10 million, $15 million less than everybody else's. You want to know why? The players prefer the goddamn security of the money over the big dollar amount. Because you know what? It's a lot cooler to flex 100 million guaranteed over that like potential 230 you could make. Trust me, that 100 million is like guaranteed. Like there's no, like you have that. That's yours. Deshaun Watson could get fucked and maybe not get any of that money. What about 100 million guaranteed that Kirk gets? Kirk got that 90 million, by the way. He could retire right now and be like, I'm done. I don't want to play anymore. and they'd have to give him that $90 million. There's no questions about that, by the way. He's just like, yeah, I'm done playing now. Give him my $90 million. He's probably already got most of it, by the way. Yeah, he's done it twice. Yeah, he's taken less money to get fully guaranteed money. Yeah, it's way smarter. Dude, it's literally fucking, in a game like football, oh my God, it's so much smarter to take fully guaranteed money for less dollars. Fuck that. Sign a bunch of fucking endorsement deals as well. You're good to go. Take that guaranteed money that 100% is always going to be there. Like, dude, Kirk signed the smartest contracts. Like, they're blueprints, in my opinion. Deshaun Watson also has a really good one. I'm very glad that he got a fully guaranteed contract. Because, again, he could never play a game for the Browns, and they got to pay him all that money. Sometimes you win those, but also sometimes you win them. I mean, Kirk Cousins, as goofy as he is, he's a great example of what happens when everybody wins on a fully guaranteed contract. What's up, Donnie? Because, again, as bad as, we all joke about Kirk and everything, Vikings are always a pretty solid team. They're not losing games directly because of Kirk. He always puts up solid numbers. Their defense is usually kind of shitty lately. And injuries kind of doom that team as well. They're like an unlucky team. They're a lot like the Chargers. They feel like they have like very good talent every year, but then like some crazy shit happens and they just never have a good year. And I feel like they're like the Chargers of the NFC. Very similar football teams. Yeah, Lil Jordan Humphrey, Lil Jordan. You're good, Donnie. Yeah, Vikings are like, they're like there's a few teams that are just historically unlucky teams. Bills, Vikings, the other team I was talking about just a second ago, the Chargers. I'd forgotten who I was talking shit about. All right, so that's my analysis for the Rams and Panthers. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean, man. They're just very unlucky. Like an injury, they lose like every single one-score game. Just, like the Vikings last year. Do you want to know what the craziest stat for them? Do you know they would have went like 14-3 or 15-2 last year if they had scored like 2 points? If the Vikings hadn't allowed a touchdown in the ever, like all season long, because this is one of their worst things. And right before halftime, they always seem to give up a touchdown, and right at the end of the game, they give up touchdowns. It's almost like the reason they lost every game that they lost. They'd have been like 15-2 last year if they didn't do that. In the games that they lost, if they hadn't given up a touchdown at the end of the game or at the end of half, they'd have won all but 2 games. Isn't that the craziest fucking statistic you've ever heard about a team? They lost a bunch of games by like 4 points. It was like, what? Or they lose by a point, 2 points. The Vikings last year might have been one of the most unlucky, hilarious football teams. Yeah, like if you go and look at it, you're like, how are the Vikings so? And then you go look at all their scores. It's a bunch of like really close one-score games where if you go look at the play-by-play, you're like, oh shit, they literally lost at like the last second. What happened? And it's like they missed a field goal. The other team has like 15 seconds. They complete like a 40-yard bomb with 2 seconds, get out of bounds, and hit a game-winning field goal. I literally watched it like that. That seemed to be a common way the Vikings lost games last year. Or like they'd fumble like the snap on like the kneel down victory formation. This didn't actually happen, but it was comical shit like that where it's like they're up by 5 and they're going down for victory formation and the snap somehow gets between Kirk's legs and the defense scoops and scores. The Vikings lose by 1. Like that was like a common kind of like bad luck situation the Vikings were going through. Yeah, they're never gonna let Diggs leave or Jefferson leave. Yeah, do you really think that? Well, actually, Mike, I don't know. Minnesota don't give a fuck about receivers. I don't think they just jump from receiver to receiver to good receiver to good receiver to good receiver to good receiver. I don't think they can physically draft a bad wide receiver. I don't think they're like capable of doing it. They probably do, but the number of good wide receivers they're like the Steelers in that aspect as well. The Steelers and the Vikings have a weird history with this. It's like Chris Carter, Randy Moss. There's some other guys that I didn't like. Mushin no, he was a Bear, wasn't he? They've got Diggs. They had Jefferson. They got Thielen. Like they draft just number ones like it's nobody's business. I forgot who they drafted in the 2000s. They weren't that great in the 2000s, I will say. They went into a nosedive after the Moss era. I don't really remember them being too great. Then again, I didn't really watch much NFC North football in the early aughts. I was busy watching the Patriots, hating on the Dolphins, making fun of the Bills because they sucked. That's what I'm thinking, rise above. And I also don't like the line there. Nate Burleson? Yeah, that's all right. What's up, Jose? All right, so let's move on to the Cardinals Seahawks. Bryce Young. Who, the Vikings? The quarterback? What, Ohio State? Cardinals Seahawks. Could be a yeah, I think so. I don't know. I think it's because the Jags are the Jag. I don't know. I don't know why they have the Colts favored in that game. With the bad offensive line, no run game, Matt Ryan's not able to escape a good pass rush versus the Jags pass rush. I'm like, this seems like an easy W. Yeah, Cousins. Yeah, he's getting old. I think they thought they had his replacement with Mon, but Mon kind of didn't turn out to be that good of a quarterback. Have a good night, Fernando. Rams Cardinals Seahawks. This game should be quite interesting. The thing about this game is it's probably going to be a shootout, right? Like we're probably going to get two shootout. Like both teams are going to score a shitload of points. Cardinals get very lucky running into this defense because this is, by the way, the last game for the Arizona Cardinals without their best wide receiver, DeAndre Hopkins. We get to see Nuke back on Thursday Night Football. Who's excited to see what DeAndre Hopkins is about to do? All steroided up and shit, ready to fucking go. He's just like, oh, they don't even know. They don't even know. He's fucking all like juiced out and shit. Like everybody else is going to be tired and shit from having played Sunday. Fucking DeAndre Hopkins is going to be like, I haven't played football for a long time. That's almost not fair. They might, you know, if I'm the NFL, I might not let him play on Thursday. Oh, you got Jamar Chase. I was going to say that might be a bad trade in the future. Dude, he's literally going up against a tired-ass Saints defense after the... Dude, he's about to go fucking ballistic. Yeah, Seattle's defense is awful, and like that's one of the things. Like Arizona's defense isn't much better, so you can trust both of the offenses in this game to put up some points. But then again, you have to think about it. Which defense do you trust more to make a stop? That's how you have to look at this Arizona and Seattle game. Barring like Seattle playing out of their mind because it's like weird NFC West coaching voodoo magic that always happens in these games. And like Arizona's played deep, like they held the Eagles to 20 points. That's my main. Like I'm like, hey, they held the Eagles to like 20 points. That's not bad. D-Hop was suspended the first 6 weeks. He's unsuspended as of after this game. I have him on like every single fantasy team I did this year, and I've just had him sitting on the bench. I'm like, I don't care. Next Thursday, I'm gonna get so many motherfucking points from him for the rest of the season. Woo! That's true. That's true. No Lattimore. That's big. Yeah, that's another reason. I don't know why anyone's picking the Saints. They don't got Lattimore either. It's like, guys, come on. Yeah, I don't know. Seahawks will stay in this game, but I think everybody's kind of thinking the same thing with the Cardinals winning. All right, I guess this game, the Buffalo. You know what's crazy? If this was 2016, do you want to know how I'd introduce this game? It's the Bills playing the Chiefs. Everybody gives a shit about this game. 6 years ago, that's how I'd introduce this game. I'd literally skip this. I'd be like, does anybody even want to talk about Buffalo and Kansas City? Oh, in 2017, I'd skip this fucking game. 2018, I'd skip this game. I bet, I don't want to watch Alex Smith versus fucking awful rookie. Crazy how quick football changes. 2018, 2019, the Patriots were Super Bowl champions. Now we're in last place with a whole new quarterback. I don't know. I still am going to go with the Chiefs in this one. There have been a couple moments where I just haven't been that impressed by Buffalo. Like, I feel like the win versus the Ravens was rather lucky in that the Ravens just kind of stopped playing football after the second half or into the second half. They were just like, all right, look how good we looked in half one. All right, well, what are we going to do in the half two? The game ended. The Ravens were like, we're about to kick some ass. Why didn't you guys fucking move for the last 30 minutes of the game? Wait, what happened? Damn, I was going to say, man, are you eventually going to get that? Hopefully we are tied with the Jersey Jets after this week. Yeah, hopefully. If my predictions are right, we should be. But I can see why somebody would pick Buffalo. Their defense has been playing great despite all the injuries. Their offense has been spotty sometimes this season, I feel like. They had the first good game. The last week they played really good. And then against the Dolphins and Ravens, the offense didn't look as hot. And then I feel like I'm missing one of the games. And I can't remember what they did in that other game. Who am I missing from their repertoire? Yeah, I would. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't do that. Who the fuck else? Oh well. But again, outside of their first and last game here, the Rams and the that might just be it. The Rams, Dolphins, Ravens, and Steelers. Oh, okay, I got all of them. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why either, Max. It's also another thing that I've noticed where everybody seems to just automatically say that Josh Allen's way better than than Patrick Mahomes all of a sudden. I've seen this sentiment rising, and it's like, what the fuck has Josh ever done? It's just like, I'm sorry, but like, what has this guy ever done in the NFL? Please tell me one thing good he's done, accomplished, pulled off. How many times he led the NFL in passing, in running for as a quarterback, passing touchdowns, wins, anything. Like what has he ever done in the NFL? Literally tell me, please. I'm confused. Has he ever led the NFL in rushing yards as a quarterback? Maybe. I'm sure he has. He might have that, but it's like, then he's a running back. That's what we accuse Lamar of, right? We yell at Lamar for running a lot. But you know what's funny? I don't even think he does that. I think like fucking Lamar outruns him every year. Yeah, exactly. Rise above. I agree. It's one of them things where I'm just so confused on why it's like, dude, this is the shit I had to deal with when I was with the Brady shit. It was like, I seen Mahomes in the Super Bowl throw a ball 40 fucking yards sideways in the air. Accurate. Josh isn't accurate. I seen Mahomes literally in a Super Bowl game like this, and threw the football 40 yards on a fucking dime to Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill should have caught that football, by the way. Should have been caught. Should have been a touchdown. Perfect throw. It's literally one of the greatest throws, I think, one of the greatest throws I've ever seen somebody make from fucking sideways. Like, I have to show you guys what I mean. Like, I don't. Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl. Like, guys, again, I'm very critical of Mahomes, but like, where the fuck? That ball literally went like 40 yards downfield almost. I literally his arm is better than Josh's. It's way more accurate, and I've never seen Josh do anything remotely close to that throw. No, he's sideways in the air when he threw that football. I'm sorry, but that's literally the craziest shit I think I've ever seen a quarterback do. And he literally, like, the only reason it was incomplete is because Tyreek Hill was probably stunned that football even got to him. I'll even give Tyreek Hill a major benefit of the doubt for dropping it. No human being should be able to throw it like that. No, yeah, until Josh wins the Super Bowl, there's no comparison. I'm sorry. Like, this is a Super Bowl winning quarterback that can do shit like this, and that's unreal to me. Like, that is literally one of the... Was it even further than I thought it was? Was it 60 yards? No, I think it was more like 50 or 40, but it was a deep throw. Nice. Sounds like you're doing pretty good with your fantasy stuff. Like, the thing is, like, I'm a big win something, like lead the league in something. Then you can have the argument, you know. At least with like Rodgers, you could like actually have a conversation about if he's better than Brady. Like, you could make the talent argue-wise. But, like, with Mahomes and Allen, it's like, dog, Mahomes has, like, a better arm talent than Josh does. What are you talking about? He's way more accurate than Josh Allen is. Yeah, and then the Ravens game, they didn't look that great either. So there's like this weird thing with the Bills where sometimes they look really good. And sometimes, yeah, it's then the Bill. Why is such a great team so weather impacted? Can you stop spamming like that, Rise Above? It's really annoying. I'm about to ban you. All right, yeah, you're just gone, dude. You're just a troll. Let me see something here. Yeah, why is it that the running quarterback can't play that well in the rain? That's weird. Oh, okay. At least you're not doing it on purpose. Yeah, they're gonna be playing indoors soon. Fucking babies. But regardless. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really see, I don't know. I just they look good against the bad Titans team and the Rams who don't look that good this year. You know what I mean? Like, there's been like if the Rams had played good the rest of the season and then looked bad against the Bills, I'd be like, oh, then yeah, you got a pretty solid point. Titans haven't looked good at all this year, except like against the Commanders, I guess, for a little bit. Like, have you ever noticed that the Bills always have an excuse for bad play other than they just didn't play good? The Patriots game was too windy. Yeah, the Titans are a serious team. But again, yeah, like this game to me is the most complicated game and the hardest one to pick on. Because again, you can make great arguments that are hard to beat for either team. Um, I think the Chiefs have played solid football and just look like they always do. And the Bills, while they've looked good in their games that they've looked good in, the games that they haven't looked good in, they really just, I don't know. I feel like they beat the Ravens on luck, dude. If the Ravens just like didn't stop like in halfway through that game, they'd have lost that game big time. And then we were looking at a 3-2 Bills team, and it's like, all right, well, the only games that they're winning are games like, you know what I mean? Games against the Steelers and Titans when they weren't very good, and the Rams who haven't been very good. Yeah, I'd be pretty surprised too. Because again, I don't feel confident either way in this game. It's one of them. We're on the Bills and Chiefs there, Nathan. Like with this game, you kind of just have to look at it like it's probably going to come down to last possession, probably overtime as well. There's no what's the word, blowout imminent for either team. I predict this as like a 28-31, 31-35, or 32-35 type game. Yeah, you don't want MVS to beat you, and he can. Yeah, but then the Bills will lose a random game to like the Jaguars like last year. Again, Bills probably should win a Super Bowl this year. That's their expectations to me. Anything short of actually being Super Bowl champions, I'd consider that a pretty big letdown season out of Buffalo. I like the Bills in this one. It's going to be pass hungry game. So much offensive excitement in the storyline between these two. Yep, should be pretty solid. Broncos will make big season comeback to go 16-0 and win Super Bowl. Let's ride. Hell yeah, Jose. Well, you know Russ is getting ready. Yeah, Sean McDermott will be bitching about everything under the sun about why they lost if they lose. But if they win, he'll be like super appreciative and commentative of those like opponents. It's like the weirdest shit. It's like that's probably the thing I hate the most about the Bills. I have a feeling they might split with the Patriots. I have a very sneaky suspicion about something in that series. I don't know why, but I think it's gonna be like this. It's gonna be the game in Buffalo we steal. It's gonna be like, well, fucking gay ass shit, and then we get beat on the next game, or we get beat on game one, then we take game two in a fucking steal. Either way, you guys. I mean, does the favorite team always win in football, Jay? Jay? If that's how it worked, then betting would be the easiest thing ever. Oh, so you have the Bills. You have the Bills going 16-1 from here on out. Damn. Damn, you really overvalue a team that struggles to score against actual teams. All right, that's cool. No, no, they're winning out because they're favored to win. And that's how we evaluate games nowadays, is based off of Vegas making favorites, I guess. I don't know. I just don't like using like favorites as a way to be like, dude, they're favored to win. Like, okay. Some teams are favored every game of the season to win. They don't though. It's just like, you know what I mean? Who, the Bills? Yeah, they don't look as good as I thought they would. Patriots look a lot better than I thought they would, especially on defense. Because, you know, everybody's shutting out the Lions this year. That's a very common occurrence, right? Patriots defense has been bad. Yeah, I mean, everybody shut the Lions out, right? Lions are a shitty offense that everybody should be able to shut out. Never mind that in their last 7 games, if you count last year, prior before the Patriots game, they'd scored 30 plus in 6 of those. The Jets would probably have to be something you keep your eye on. Maybe the Jets will win the Super Bowl. I don't know about that, Jay. If they do beat the Packers, though, I think it's something to keep an eye on. All right, let's get past this Bills Chiefs game. We've got 2 more games to finish out here. Cowboys and Eagles, another good game here. We got like a couple good games stacked here this week. So we got Cowboys, Eagles. This is one of those games that it just really depends on how you're looking at it, right? Um, you could look at it like, all right, Philly's defense is going to eat this shitty Cowboys offense alive, and the Eagles should be able to win this game. But you could also look at it from Dallas's perspective. Yep, he hasn't lost yet, J Cam. But you can also look at it from this perspective of Eagles ain't play anybody worth the fuck. Haven't played anybody like this Dallas defense, and we don't really know what Dallas is or what the Eagles offense can do against this defense. Um, then you can also look at the same thing can be said about this Eagles defense that's been very, very underrated this year. Minus they giving up 30 to the Cowboys, or to the Lions, but that, you know, that doesn't count. That must have just been a freak thing because the Lions offense isn't that good that they can score, 30 points on a good defense like the Eagles that everyone says. You know what's weird? Everybody says the Eagles have a good defense and they gave up 30 to the Lions. The Patriots have been called a shitty defense this year by many, many people, by the way. Many, 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 many people all season long. Bad defense, bad defense, bad defense. We shut the Lions out. I'm just saying, I don't know. One team, the Eagles, gave up 30 points to the same offense we shut out. And one of these teams is called a bad defense. That's us. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Gave up 1 touchdown to the Dolphins. It's like, what? I think 0 touchdowns that weren't off turnovers. Wow. Really bad defense. Yeah, but they gave up that point to the Ram that one time. Yeah. Okay. What are the Eagles? Yeah, but they're good defense. Good. Anyway, let's get back on track. Yeah, Dak will probably be next week. Man, my nose is bothering me. It's starting to bug me. But I've been live for 2 hours without what's on my nose? Hold on. Be right back. In the corner of my I'm gonna go grab a soda real quick too. My voice is very I'm starting to lose. Be right back. I just saw a snowflake fall outside. I was like, what the fuck? It's 45, so I'm just seeing something. Yeah. Dak's not a bad option on the bench, I guess. All right, here. What's this? Why isn't this updated? I wonder if that means the yeah, that's always true. Like my thing in that game is it's more along the lines of okay, so I also break. Yeah, I figured Restream stopped working. That's annoying. What I hate is that I can't even put him on IR. Oh, yeah, I don't really care that much about fantasy, man. I hate to tell you. That sucks, I guess. You're talking way too much fantasy, though. I don't. I know way too much about your fantasy team. You were telling me about like 50 different trades, and I don't care. No, it's all right, man. I just don't I don't care about fantasy like that. It's like, yeah, I play in it, but it's like, man, I don't even do any transactions till Sunday morning. You know, like that's how lazy it's just not my biggest I do it mainly because I know a lot of people like to play it that watch the channel, and it's just kind of fun. So again, do I watch Red Zone? No, I watch the Patriots game that's on at 1:00. Or if the Patriots aren't on at 1, I'll watch the Lions play. I'm not a big fan of Red Zone. I don't like it. I like to watch the whole games. Or the very ends of football games. Parlays. No, I don't like gambling. It's a personal thing. I don't have any problems with it. I just don't like doing it. I don't like giving up money like that. I don't like the concept of like, you know, because you're supposed to just consider any money you gamble as lost. And I can't do that. Like mentally, I just can't do that. Like there's something in my brain that's like, no, we're not going to do that. That seems like a bad idea. It's just like, yeah, nah. Yeah, you guys needed 19 innings of near scoreless baseball to sneak past the Mariners. Good luck against the Yankees, about to get swept. Or the Guardians, whoever you're playing. All right, so the way the Cowboys-Eagles, though, it basically comes down to I trust both defenses a tremendous amount in this football game. So I have to look at like the offenses of either team. I've seen more from the Eagles than I have of the Cowboys and Cooper Rush to be like, all right, I trust this team over this team. And with the way these two teams are right now, I have to trust the Eagles offense a bit more than the Cowboys offense. Because again, unlike the Cowboys offense, the Eagles at least have most of their starters for this. Whereas the Cowboys are using a backup quarterback. And even in games where they're dominating on defense, they're winning like 22-12 because they can't score points. Despite having the ball a lot. Like a lot. I feel like they have a lot of drives that just end in 4 plays. And it's just like, well, that's the drawback of Cooper Rush, because they'll run and then like complete a pass for like 2 yards and then they'll punt a ball away. It's just like, all right, that's not very. And then they'll get like 1 drive or 2 drives in the game where they'll get 14 and a shitload of field goals. And it's like, all right, well, I guess they won by that. Which again, when your defense is as good as the Cowboys defense has been, that's probably enough. But yeah, good luck to the Astros there, Spider. Sure you're excited. Yeah, so I'm going to go with the Eagles in this one just because I kind of trust the defense. Like, again, the defenses are 2 things I think are pretty... Are things you can trust for either team to stop the offense. But again, it's not, and this isn't a shot on Dak, because I think this game is going to be like 17-10, 17-13. I could see this being an under 20 game. I just infinitely trust the Eagles offense way more right now. They're much better than the Cowboys offense. If Dak was playing, I'd pick the Cowboys, by the way. Wouldn't even be something I'd think twice about. I'd be like, oh, Cowboys are going to win this game by probably quite a bit. Like this is one of these games where if the quarterback situation was different for Dallas, they probably win this by an aggressive amount of points. Like they probably shock the world and win this game like 31-15 if they had Dak, 31-14, 30-14 type game where everybody's like, holy shit. Because it would have been like the Eagles just get stomped up and Dallas's offense scores off the points given to them by the defense. Great field position, turnovers, etc., etc. But no Dak, no win. Give me the Eagles. Game of the week. Yet again, we'll see the Broncos where they belong on primetime football. To me, I think the one thing that's synonymous to me with primetime NFL football is quality play of the Denver Broncos. You know, I'm ready to watch Russ cook for 5 of 6 weeks this season so far. I watched so many shitty-ass fucking Broncos games. I'm so tired of watching this god-awful team, dude. Like, there's a part of me that may just not... Like, it's like I don't have class that day, and it's like, why can't this be the fucking Bears-Patriots game? What the fuck? Scheduling-wise, this is the worst, like, shit ever. I don't want to watch this. I'm not even kidding. I have zero interest in watching the Chargers just brutalize the fucking Broncos. It's just like, oh boy, this is going to be a beatdown. If they can score 30 points, the poor Raiders or Broncos, whatever the fuck garbage team it is, they're not going to be able to keep up. Sorry, I'm just bummed out that we keep seeing the Broncos get primetime games. I feel like we're getting tired of it. It's like, hey, maybe if these guys were good, it'd be a little entertaining to watch Russell Wilson come out every so often, you know? Right now, you're giving us Russell Westbrook. I don't know. You guys like my super original joke that I came up with that no one else has made? That Russell Westbrook is turning into Russell Wilson, or Russell Wilson's turning into Russell Westbrook? Yeah, if Russell Wilson could play offense, they'd literally be a top team in football. Yeah, it's my completely original joke that no one's made because, you know, their names are both Russell. And like the joke is that because I just make a heavy breathing noise. No, it's a joke I stole from the internet, and my addition to the joke is pretending that I made the joke, and then trying to explain it in a very shitty way, and then just going at the end, and just be like, "That's how," and it steals shit. There's a lot of teams with bad defense. Charles, Seahawks. Broncos have like the best defense in football. Or one of them. Broncos also have a Sunday night game, week 14. That'll probably be moved. Russell Westbrook. Yeah, that I kind of feel bad for that guy sometimes. But like he did talk a lot of shit about them triple doubles he was winning. Only for like, you know, him to average like 11 points a game or something. I'm not really sure. Like, I know there's some hilarious underside to those, like his triple doubles that he got that one year where it's like, yeah, but it's like, yeah, he got all them triple doubles, but it's also like, yeah, you know, we kind of don't count them triple doubles. Like his team won 31 games that year. It's like, oh, okay. That's why we don't count the triple doubles. He didn't win enough games for it to be relevant. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it really doesn't even equate to winning anything, though. That's all the games, by the way. We spent 2 hours going over 14 games. Do you know that the average length of the stream is like an hour and no, they're always about 2 hours actually. Which is about as I'm gonna close that because I don't want to have Chrome running. I'll probably stay alive for another 7 minutes. Go get out of here at like 11:30 even or something like that. Because we do have streams to do all day tomorrow. Well, 2 games tomorrow. We're gonna do the Patriots and Browns, and then the Eagles and Cowboys. I was thinking about doing the Chiefs and the Bills instead of the Sunday Night Football, but I actually kind of want to watch the Cowboys and Eagles. I don't really want to watch the Chiefs and the Bills because I don't like either team. I can kind of fuck with the Eagles. I don't really like the Cowboys, but I like Cooper Rush. I don't really have any real beef with this Eagles team because they're like an entirely different team than what beat us in the Super Bowl, except Kelsey. But he's pretty old now, so. Damn, the goalpost made it all the way to the Tennessee River. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'll show you guys. Tennessee beat Alabama in college football today, and they took off with the goalpost. And looks like they threw the goalpost into the Tennessee River. Absolute calamity. That's one hell of a scene that's been going on. Craziness. Yeah, I like talking to the chat. I don't know how streamers without under a certain amount of people watching don't say anything. And I've had hundreds of people in a chat. So the only time it actually got hard to respond to people was during the NFL awards show when there was 800 people talking and or in the chat, and probably 300 of them were talking at once. I was like, guys, I'm just gonna have to start replying to general trends I see. I can't keep up. And I quickly figured out how to do that. But anything under that, I can generally keep track of. Especially when it's kind of just like a talky hangout stream like this. I try to get most of what everybody. If I miss something, it's never intentional. It's just because I maybe got distracted and missed it as it kept going. One of my things I give myself a very high mark on is attentiveness to people watching when I'm streaming, or at least I try to be super attentive. Because when I watch a stream, I like when the streamers are really interactive. But then again, sometimes when things get dead, I tend to just go, I'm out of things to talk about. Wait. Yeah, try to be anyway. Yeah, I'm out of things to talk about though. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't realize it was 11:30 almost already. Top 10 receiver right now. If he is, it's like the bottom part of the top 10, like 8, 9, or 10, maybe even sitting at 11. Yeah, I feel like you can name 10 guys better than again, that's why I think you might be toward the bottom, because it's like, well, I don't know. Yeah, the drops are pretty bad. But I mean, Devontae Adams used to drop a lot of passes too. And that took him years to get out of that habit. I feel like a lot of people often forget that about Devontae Adams' early career. No, it's one of the things that if you can name a bunch of guys that are better than a player, they're not top 10. Like, if you could just sit there and rattle off names, it's like, yeah, okay, he's not top 10. Because, like, at number one, you got probably, I don't know, Jacoby Myers. Number two is Kendrick Bourne. Number three is Devontae Parker. Four is right now is Tyquan Thornton. He could become number one quickly. Five is Nelson Aguilar. And then it gets pretty tough to make the top five after all them guys. So this dude, the Rise Above, is like, wait a minute. He just said so many incorrect names in that top five. I don't even know where to fucking start. All them names is wrong. What is this dude doing? How serious is he about that top five? He thought about that for a second. It's a very specific top five. What is this? What is this top five? Is this his favorite receiver on the Patriots? What is this? Nobody would have Devontae Parker in their top five. Arguably, maybe top 20 of guys who don't, if they were healthy. I personally think Devontae Parker just hated being a Dolphin more than anything else. Like, I often wonder if guys who get hurt often and then never leave, and then leave a team and then never get hurt again. I'm like, were you ever actually hurt, or did you just go, oh, my hip, it hurts so damn bad, and then just walk with this weird limp all the time? Like, because it seemed like Devontae Parker would get the most unsevere injury. Like, he sprained his ankle and missed 17 games in a row. It's like, how in the fuck did you get so hurt from nothing? I was like, oh, yeah, I was banged up. Then you see the play he gets hit on. He doesn't even come up limping. He's just standing on the sideline for the next 6 weeks for the Dolphins. It's like, what happened? I just didn't play here. Yeah, a lot of receivers have that. Randy Moss was similar. Everyone thought he was retired. He was done. And then he goes to New England and breaks every record for a receiver at that point. It's like, oh, all right, never mind. I think some guys just literally go, I ain't going to fucking play here. I'm going to pretend like I'm hurt. It's just, what do you mean? Fuck this. I ain't going to deal with this. When they put Ryan Fitzpatrick out there, I'm going to ball out. Other than him, I'm not going to fucking try. Because again, whenever Ryan Fitzpatrick came out, Devontae Parker was literally one of the better receivers in the NFL. It was hilarious. The difference between anybody else and then Ryan Fitzpatrick throwing him the ball with Miami. Signed a Patriots fan who literally watched Devontae eat with better throwing quarterbacks. T.O.'s probably faster than DK Metcalf. The thing with T.O.'s probably the third best receiver, arguably, of all time. Maybe fourth. He's in the top five all time. And if he's not in your top five all time, I have to question why. It's like, I mean, isn't he top three in every statistic? Dude played on a broken leg in a Super Bowl and almost won the goddamn thing. Oh, that guy's a freak of nature, T.O. Yeah, Revis that's how defensive backs think. I'm pretty sure fucking Deion Sanders also thought Jerry Rice was a scrub. Yeah, T.O.'s a different animal. Metcalf could be there. He's a physical freak like T.O. was. But I think T.O. might have been a little quicker than Metcalf. I'm not 100% on that. What's up, Dre? But the difference is again, I'm a big DK fan, right? T.O. also has very, very, really, unreally good hands. Kind of like Jerry Rice's hands. Whereas DK, you know, that's why he dropped in the draft quite a bit, is because he sometimes drops footballs on some pretty, and he does it in the NFL too, by the way. He drops some passes that really should never be dropped. He's got some kind of shitty hands sometimes, and the ball gets punched out kind of easy on the guy. It's like the weirdest fucking thing with him. It's like he just like can't catch some throws and the ball gets hit out on him. And like that's just what, like, the literal reason he dropped in the draft was because of the ball security issues and drop issues. Again, they're not as bad. He's working on it. He's getting better about it, but his hands aren't as good as you'd think you'd like them to be. Just my own opinion, I guess. Again, it's not that big of a deal. DK's still a fucking monster. But it's like, I think that's the actual reason why he fell in the draft, other than teams were being stupid about that one. But then getting him Russell Wilson, a guy who can throw some really nice catchable footballs, made his hands improve a little bit. Taught him some new technique, and, most of the time, guys who just can't catch the ball like that at that level, where they can catch a lot of it, it's just they need to learn, like, the proper spots to put their hands to catch the ball. Yeah, and they like work out together and shit. They're fucking they're jacked. They're yoked. Hilarious. All right, though, guys. I think I'm gonna wrap this up here tonight. I'm gonna get out of here because we have a busy night tomorrow. It's been just about 2.5 hours. And this is just kind of like we're just hanging out and just mainly because it's good. It's past 11:30. I kind of want to play some. Yeah, dude, they're freaks. Those two guys. Freaks in a good way though, like fucking. We like working out and we do. But all right, guys, fun ass stream. You guys have a great rest of your Saturday nights. Again, we'll be live tomorrow tomorrow morning. We got the Patriots and the Browns at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. We'll probably be live around 12:55. You guys won again. You guys are up 2-1 right now, huh? Let's go. Fuck the Yankees. The New York fucking fraud keys. Damn, the Yankees announced they just changed their name. Have a good night, Dre. Have a good day at work. Apparently that's the new name that they just came out with. Breaking. Max, how mad are you? Like, how funny would it be, though, if you guys wound up winning the World Series as the Guardians? I'd be like, damn, you got, like... Like, would your whole fan base just deny that you guys ever were called the Indians if you won it as the Guardians? Like how you guys would have to, right? Because it'd be like a curse thing. It'd be like, yeah, we were never called the Indians. We've been the Guardians for 100 years. Like, what happened to being the Indians? What are you talking about? That was literally never a part of our. That was never part of our identity, being the Indians. What are you? They're just like denying it. It's like, nah, Guardian. We're champions as Guardians. We don't even fuck with that old name. What, that old name in the early 90s? Ugh. Get with the times, you racist bigot. Like Guardians fans like woke scolding people and shit who are still trying to call them the Indians. They're like, hey, fuck you with that superstitious cursed name. Oh, dude, yeah, no, it would literally be a thing where it's like, the best thing that could happen for the like Guardians is they win the World Series this year, because even the most like diehard anti-name change fans would be like, fuck, that name was cursed. They're like, in the sports brain, if they actually care about the sport, something in your sports brain would go, oh, they just had to change their name. They were literally, look at the Tampa Bay Rays. They had an exorcism and have been good ever since they got rid of being the Devil Rays. Well, yeah, they have a retarded owner named Dan Snyder who thinks the league's out to get him. Yeah, the Browns changed to the Ravens and won a Super Bowl in like 2 years. It's pretty fucking crazy. I'm telling you, name changes aren't exactly the worst thing. People overestimate. Yeah, I think the Baltimore Ravens changing from they should go back to the Baltimore Browns, in my opinion, because that's offensive to the Ravens. As someone who's Ravenkin, I don't know. I don't even know how to finish that. I actually don't have good trolling past that because I don't really understand anything past that. That's my level of understanding, because I know people say that they're animals plus kin, and then I don't know the arguments past there, because that's when I go, oh yeah, I'm not interested in listening to this shit. And then I leave. Yeah, I wasn't watching football during the Oilers days. I wasn't loosely watching till 03, and then I wasn't watching regularly till 04, 05. The teams were all pretty much as they stand right now, except the Commanders, because, you know, they folded to woke pressure. Yeah, I remember Eric McNair, though. I remember what happened, too. That was a sad day. All right, though, everybody. That's pretty much it. I'm really going to get out of here now. I gave an extra few. Thank you guys so much for a fun stream tonight. Thank you for all the likes. I appreciate that. It was fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, Nick Adams won't even know what to do. Yeah, hey, dude, they were cursed, man. You know how sports works. Because again, like, even if you don't like the name, it's one of them things where it's like, well, if they win when they get rid of that old name, and they couldn't, like, they've had way better teams lose games, and it's like, if this team wins a World Series, then they literally were cursed. Like, I'm sorry to tell you, they should have changed that fucking name years ago if that was all it took to get them a World Series. Sometimes there's, again, anyone complaining about the name in either direction is fucking obnoxious. It's just a team name. I wish they'd change team names every year just so people couldn't bitch about it. But again, whatever. I'm just glad we live in a country where something people can bitch about back and forth is changing sports teams' names. I feel like that just proves we're in a very good spot in the world. Like, our world, like, issues in this country are so hilarious compared to other places. That team name is upsetting. And then there's like major cultural issues that stem from it. It's like, damn, we really got nothing else going on over here, do we? We could use some conflict. Or else we're going to tear each other apart over team names and shit. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully we all have a good rest of our nights. Stay safe out there. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you in like less than 12 hours, like 12, 11 hours. Yeah, exactly. I mean, bad team name means bad team. Usually, yeah, that is true. I will say there is usually a correlation. The Patriots, well, that's a good team name actually. Just shitty word. Got fucking hijacked. All right, though. Thank you guys so much. Again, I'll see you when I see you next. Hopefully it's tomorrow for the Patriots and Browns. If not, I'll see you at Sunday Night Football. If not then, maybe I'll see you Monday Night Football. We'll figure it all out from there. Anyway, yep, go Lions, go Tigers. We made no changes to any of our picks, so everything kind of just stands. We're just gonna stay pat this week, especially since the Dolphins aren't playing Tua. That was our main game to look at. So, all right. Thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day, night, morning, afternoon, midday, mid-evening, midsummer, mid-fall, winter, whenever you listen to this. All right. Have a good one. Good night. Go Lions, go Tigers, go Patriots.